Chosen one. 7 dreams God uses to speak to you at night, without you realizing. There's something about your nights that's been shifting. You wake up and feel it, without words. A strange silence in your room. A symbol that keeps showing up. A sentence you don't remember hearing, but can't forget. And here's the truth most ignore. You're not dreaming by accident, because heaven doesn't waste vision. God speaks when your eyes are closed, so your soul can open. You've seen water, serpents, doors that don't exist in the physical, and yet you remember them vividly. That's not your imagination. It's a spiritual briefing, an encrypted message for the ones who are chosen to see beyond the veil, while others scroll through dreams like noise. You've been selected to decode divine patterns, and if you're still watching this, it's not just curiosity, it's confirmation you are under divine instruction. Your night isn't rest, it's activation. Tonight, we're going to uncover the 7 dreams God uses to speak to you without your conscious mind even realizing it. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at sleep the same way again. But listen closely. Every second you stay in this video is part of the message. Miss one moment, and you might miss a code meant only for your next breakthrough. So if you're ready to awaken even in your dreams, hit the like button right now. Subscribe if your spirit has been stirred. And type 99 in the comments, because Psalm 99 says, "The Lord reigns, let the nations tremble, and when he speaks in your sleep, even the darkness must shake." Let's begin. Chosen one. If you've seen water in your dreams lately, don't just remember it. Interpret it. Because water isn't just an element in the spirit, it's a language. And when heaven speaks in water, it's never surface level. Maybe you were drowning, struggling to breathe, pulled under by invisible forces. That's not fear, that's a revelation. You're being swallowed by emotions you haven't confessed, by wounds you've buried too deep to heal. It's a sign you're losing a battle in silence, and God is urgently calling you back to shore. But maybe your dream was quiet, still waters, clear, calm, peaceful. That's not rest. That's alignment. That's the Spirit confirming you're flowing with His will. Even if everything around you looks uncertain. But if the water is wild, waves crashing, storms rising, currents pulling you toward the unknown, you're not in danger. You're in transition. God is shaking loose the old structures inside of you. He's not trying to destroy you. He's trying to cleanse you. Because water doesn't just reflect you. It reveals you. It tells you where you're resisting His movement and where He's preparing to baptize you into something greater. And here's the twist most people miss. The way you react to water in your dream is a mirror of your reaction to the divine in real life. Do you run from it, try to control it, or let it carry you? Because the dream isn't just a symbol, it's a question, and God is waiting for your answer. So the next time you see water in your sleep, don't ask, "What does this mean?" Ask instead, "Lord, where are you trying to take me that my fear won't let me go?" And now, let's dive even deeper. Because if water uncovers your soul, the next dream reveals what's hiding in the shadows around you. Keep watching. Chosen one. When a snake slithers into your dreams, you're not being haunted, you're being alerted. This is not a random nightmare. It's a coded message from the spiritual realm. Because the serpent doesn't speak, it signals. And when it appears, you're being warned about what your spirit already suspects, but your mind refuses to confront. If you've been bitten in a dream, that venom isn't physical. It's emotional poison, jealousy, gossip, betrayal, injected into you by someone smiling to your face but praying for your fall. And the location of the bite? It matters. A bite on your hand? Your calling is being attacked. A bite on your foot? They're trying to redirect your path. But what if you didn't see the snake? What if it was hidden under your bed, in the grass, behind a loved one? That's not fear. That's spiritual surveillance. You are being watched by a camouflaged threat. Someone you trust may be the very doorway the enemy is using to get close. Now, what if you kill the snake in your dream? Don't overlook that moment. That's victory in the unseen. A silent deliverance. A battle won while your body rested. But your spirit stood in armor. God sends these serpent dreams not to scare you, but to sharpen you. To activate your discernment radar, so you stop believing every kind word and start testing every spirit. Because here's the truth no one wants to say. Some smiles carry venom. Some prayers are curses in disguise. And your dream is the only place where the mask finally slips. So the next time a snake appears, don't panic. Don't run. Ask boldly, Lord, who in my life is close enough to bite but silent enough to deceive? And now, get ready. Because if the snake reveals who's hiding, the next dream shows you what God is opening. Stay right here, chosen one. When a door shows up in your dream, you're not just walking through wooden hinges. You're standing at a spiritual threshold. Heaven is showing you something. The natural world cannot, that your life is about to shift. And whether the door opens, locks, cracks, or disappears, each detail is a code, a revelation, about the timing and trajectory of your calling. If the door is open, don't celebrate too quickly. It's not just access, it's a test. Because what you're walking into now was prayed for by the version of you that barely survived last year. An open door means your next season is available, but your obedience is the key. Now, if the door is locked, don't curse the delay. God may be protecting what you're not ready to carry. A locked door is not rejection. It's preservation. And sometimes, the silence of heaven is louder than any yes. But if the door is broken, pay attention. Someone, something, has tried to force their way in. This dream is a security breach in the spirit. It means an enemy has located your access point and is attempting to sabotage your next move before you make it. God uses door dreams to recalibrate your discernment. Not everything open is divine. Not everything closed is punishment. And not every hallway is meant for your feet. But here's where it gets deeper. If you're simply standing in front of a mysterious door, unable to move, uncertain of what's behind it, it may not be about the door at all. It may be about your readiness. Because sometimes, you've been praying for a future that you haven't mentally or spiritually stepped into. So when you see that dream again, the hallway, the handle, the unknown behind the wood, ask yourself, do I have the faith to walk through what I begged God to send? And now, listen carefully, because the next dream isn't about objects or spaces. It's about something alive. And what it carries could unlock your entire spiritual blueprint. Stay with me. Chosen one. When a baby appears in your dream, it's not about innocence. It's about responsibility. You're not being shown a child. You're being shown a seed, a divine deposit, something fragile, but holy, something small, but destined to shift nations. A baby in your arms means God has entrusted you with something sacred, a vision, a purpose, a spiritual assignment designed before you were even born. But just because it's in your hands doesn't mean it's safe. You still have to feed it, protect it, fight for it. Now, if the baby is crying in your dream, don't ignore that sound. That's not noise. That's your calling, begging for attention. You've delayed something too long, put off obedience, doubted your own capacity. But heaven is done waiting, and if you see a baby that's been abandoned, that's the most urgent of all. It means you've walked away from something eternal, a spiritual pregnancy left unattended. And just like a newborn, if you don't nurture it, it won't survive. This is not about motherhood or fatherhood. This is about legacy. You've been carrying something in the spirit. Maybe you don't have the language for it. Maybe no one around you sees it. But you know it's there. A pressure, a stirring, a divine weight you can't explain. And here's what most don't realize. The enemy isn't afraid of who you are now. He's terrified of what you're carrying. That's why the warfare increased. That's why your sleep changed. Because something inside of you is about to emerge. So next time you dream of a baby, don't ask, "What is this?" Ask instead, "God, how do I raise what you just birthed in me?" And now, we move into the realm where the veil grows thin, where the past tries to speak, and not every presence comes in peace. Keep watching. Chosen one. There are dreams that whisper, and then there are dreams that pierce. When someone who has passed away visits you in the night, you're not simply remembering. You are being summoned into a realm where the living and eternal briefly intersect. This is not just nostalgia. It's not always grief resurfacing. Sometimes, it's God speaking through memory, using the image of someone familiar to bypass your logic and reach the part of your soul that still listens when you're most vulnerable. Maybe the person spoke to you. Maybe they just looked at you with meaning. Or maybe they said nothing, but you woke up crying. That's not emotion. That's a message. God may be bringing you closure, healing a wound you never processed, or he's passing on a prophetic instruction that your conscious mind would have dismissed in the daylight. Sometimes these dreams are also ancestral awakenings, reminders that a generational battle has reached its final warrior, you. But hear this clearly. Not every presence is divine. The enemy is a master of disguise. Some dreams are counterfeits, imitations designed to distract, deceive, or detour. And how can you tell the difference? It's not in what is said. It's in what is left behind. If the dream leaves peace, conviction, or clarity, heaven touched you. If it leaves confusion, fear, or obsession, it was sent to distort. This is why discernment is your greatest shield. Because when the dead appear, you must ask not with emotion, but with spiritual authority. Lord, was this from you, or was it a shadow wearing a memory? Because chosen ones are not just dreamers, we are gatekeepers. And not every spirit deserves access. And now, we cross from the invisible to the inevitable. The next dream doesn't whisper from the past. It drags you from the present and tests whether you're standing on rock or illusion. Brace yourself. Chosen one, there's a kind of dream that doesn't arrive with symbols. It arrives with impact, a sudden drop, a jolt that snaps you awake. Your heart racing, your spirit shaken. You are falling. But this isn't just anxiety. It's not your mind spiraling. It's your spirit being interrupted. Because when God allows you to fall in a dream, He's not trying to punish you. He's trying to reposition you. Maybe you're losing control of something you were never meant to manage alone. A relationship, a title, a role you've outgrown. And instead of letting go, you've been white-knuckling a version of life He's already called you out of. Or maybe you're clinging to pride, to illusions of stability, to platforms built on fear instead of faith. And the fall, it's God's mercy, stripping away everything false before it collapses with you on top. And yet, sometimes He lets you fall almost to the ground, just to show you that He still catches you. That what felt like failure was actually formation, a divine reset. Not to break you, but to rebuild you on the truth. Because here's the part few understand. Falling in a dream doesn't always mean danger. It can mean you're finally being separated from what was never you. Ego, pride, control. He's tearing it down. So the question isn't, why am I falling? It's, what have I built my identity on that God is now shaking? Because the fall is not the end. It's the start of something grounded. And as you awaken breathless, confused, afraid, the whisper from heaven is clear. When everything collapses, I remain your foundation. But what happens when the fall is over, and yet you still feel watched, like something sees you? Even when nothing's there, get ready. Because the final dream doesn't shake your body. It invades your atmosphere. Chosen one, this dream doesn't come with monsters. No fire, no fall, no chaos. Just a feeling that you're being watched, not by a person. Not by anything you can name, but by something unseen, yet undeniably present. You look around in the dream. Nothing. But the air is heavy. You feel judged, measured, known, and not by accident. This is not paranoia. This is spiritual awareness. You've crossed a threshold. And now, you're on the radar of realms you didn't even know were monitoring you. Because when you've been marked by destiny, both heaven and hell take notice. Angels observe your growth. Demons study your weakness. The atmosphere itself becomes aware of your presence. And the dream is a confirmation. You are no longer invisible to the invisible. But here's what most miss. You're not being watched because you're weak. You're being watched because you're dangerous. Your anointing is rising. Your authority is growing. And the spirit realm is tracking your every move because your next decision could activate generational shift. This dream is a briefing. God is showing you that you've become a key player in a war that others sleep through. You are no longer hidden, no longer protected by obscurity. You've been revealed. And that's why you feel exposed, because you are. Spiritually lit up like a signal tower, seen by both darkness and light. So the next time you feel those invisible eyes, don't run, don't shrink, stand. Because that gaze means this: your time to move, speak, and lead has arrived. You've been seen. Now it's time to act like you're called. But before we close, there is one final thing you need to hear. One truth that ties every dream together. And if you miss this next moment, you may miss the entire purpose of why these dreams came to you in the first place. Stay with me. The conclusion is not an ending. It's an awakening. Chosen one. What you used to call dreams were never just dreams. They were heavenly blueprints, encrypted codes, sacred instructions hidden in night visions. While others are distracted, you are being activated. While others sleep, you are being trained by heaven. Every symbol, every image, every emotion you couldn't explain upon waking was heaven marking you. God hiding messages within mystery, so only those awake in the spirit could understand. He is not silent. He has been speaking to you while you sleep, because your spirit was ready, long before your mind could comprehend it. So tonight, don't go to bed like always. Don't close your eyes as if nothing is happening. Lie down with expectation, with purpose, with prophetic purpose, because those